Guys, this video is sponsored by Premier Fight Picks. Bardia Helmy is a top MMA sports bettor and analyst with a 70% winning record publicly tracked over 3 years. Bardia was on fire for the last UFC. He went 3 for 3 on his quick picks and hit his official premium bet, a max play on Surreal Gong to defeat Volkov. While Conor McGregor is fighting this weekend at a loaded summer calendar is just ahead of us, it is a perfect time to sign up. Bardia is offering a special weekly subscription for only $49.99, which will get you not only his picks, his premium bets, analysis, and quick picks for UFC 264, but also next week's UFC Fight Night, in addition to his official bet on the highly anticipated Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley boxing match. Guys, there are currently 3 bets posted for UFC 264, with at least one more coming. His subscribers will be going for their 3rd profiting UFC event in a row, so make sure to visit PremierFightPicks.com to ride the wave and get in on the action. Bardia also gives out free bets and analysis on Instagram. Go to @PremierFightPicks, on Twitter @PFP Handicapping. Go check him out. My official prediction for McGregor versus Poirier Part 3, I'm taking Poirier. But I want to break this fight down because, I mean, look, you could, in many ways, you have a toss-up, right? And the betting lines are even showing that. And the more and more people that I talk to, more and more people I hear from, you might be able to relate to this, are very excited for this fight, but not bullish one way or the other. They're not, no, I never hear anybody saying Poirier's going to stomp him or, oh, Conor's going to stomp him. I never hear that. I think that we all understand we're going to have a back and forth battle. And if we've watched these guys compete twice, we've seen that they can both get the victory. Now, I realize that I'm stating the obvious. I realize that. But you can go back. You can look at the intimidation that was on Dustin Poirier's face the first time he stepped into a huge, high-profile fight. That opponent could have been anybody. Dustin was not going to win that night. He was a deer in the headlights, right? The lights were just too bright. Now, a much more mature Dustin Poirier that's headlining shows and fighting for championships, all of a sudden stepping back in with Conor, it removed that fear. And that's really what you saw. That really was the big difference with Poirier. He didn't have that same fear. He had a different belief. He understood the spot. There was no crowd. So no matter how much pressure or how high a fight appears to be, it feels smaller to the athlete. So he had a good performance by Dustin. Now I'm talking about part 2, of course. But we can also identify what was wrong with Conor, which was the removal from competition for a meaningful period of time. He had one fight with Cowboy Cerrone. Before that fight, it was like 500 days since he had fought. Another 365 days plus go by. I mean, look, it was a tough spot. That was the worst Conor I've ever seen. It's the worst Conor you're going to see. And I don't think any of us make believe that that's the Conor that's going to show up. You are going to have a much superior Conor McGregor in this fight. Now, that's relevant because if any of you thought that was a close fight and you don't have an argument to make as to what Dustin is going to do to be even better, and we know for sure a better Conor is going to show up just based on logic, just because we acknowledge that ring rust is real, do you see the problem? I didn't see a close fight there. I saw a fight that was over within the first 3 minutes. Conor McGregor was different and had changed and realized he was in a harder contest than he was expecting to be in within 3 minutes of the very first round. And now it's just a matter of, how do I get out of here? How the hell do I get out of this one, right? Real thing that goes through a fighter's mind. It was going through Conor's mind, and he finally found the answer about 7.5 minutes in. Now, I only bring that to you because that's not going to happen again. That is extremely unlikely. Now, if you saw a back and forth battle, if you thought this was tit for tat, and some people have, some people have told me, Chael, go back and watch this. This thing was a dogfight. And when Poirier took him down, Conor scooted to the fence and got right back up to his feet. That's fiction. That didn't happen. But if you think that your eyes saw something different and that this is a very close back and forth, and you have the added element of knowing that Conor is going to be superior, it's going to be a superior Conor, you might want to take McGregor in this, right? It's not as though McGregor doesn't have a way to go. He does. McGregor doesn't just have a left hand to beat you up with. He's doing very good work in the clinch as of late. He showed that with Cowboy Cerrone, some of those shoulder strikes. He broke Cowboy's nose. I mean, just for example, Conor has more ways that he can win. And if Conor plans for this to be a long, drawn-out evening that is likely to go 25 minutes, he will reduce his power. He won't look for the finish, right? The old Mike Tyson expression is very true. If you look for the knockout, you will lose the decision. But if Conor makes his mind up ahead of time, and all I have to go on as a reference point is Conor versus Nate Diaz Part 2. I'm taking that Conor and that strategy and that outlook to the contest, that he knew this was going to take some time. I'm not going to put this guy down. He took my power before. Conor might also know that with Dustin, because Dustin did take his power in the second fight. So if Conor changes and looks for a strategy that is much longer and much more drawn out, and you believe it was a competitive second fight, because many of you do. Many of you, when you watched, I thought, well, this was really back and forth. I saw something different. I did not see a competitive fight. I saw Conor McGregor, who 3 minutes in realized this isn't going to be my night. Talking as an athlete, right? As a guy that's done it, I just know what that look is like. So, Conor's not a bad bet, right? I think overall, that's my point. Conor's not a bad bet. You're going to see a superior Conor for sure. Is it enough to pull him out of the hole that was the second contest? There was a deficit. There was a skill deficit there. Not to mention, Conor brings a storm and there's usually nobody left standing. Conor brought the storm. When Poirier was there and realized and started to gain confidence, that's when he launched his offense. I only bring that to you because I do not think that Poirier is going to be reserved the second time. I think that he's going to go out. He's already got that confidence. The mask is off. I can deal with the left hand. He's only got 2 setups for it. Let's go attack him. That's ultimately what Poirier got to in the second fight. I'm submitting for you that I predict he does that earlier. Soon as the referee says go, Poirier goes on the attack. He's got a damn good offense. When he holds back and lets Conor take charge, as most every opponent of Conor does, it doesn't really go very well. I don't think that Poirier is going to do that. Look, we got a great fight to look forward to. And these guys are going to trade shots and they're going to trade some positions. I think that Poirier is going to come in at least strategically with a little bit more of a ground-heavy mindset. If he gets stuffed on those shots, if those shots aren't working, those takedowns attempts are too much energy, he'll get away from it quickly, come back to a fisticuffs. Great match to look forward to. Not extremely bullish on this. I'm not bullish on this, but I am taking the diamond.